Looking at a copy of 3D World Runner plugged into a top-loading NES. In case anyone was wondering what we've been playing with here, I suppose nobody cares. Anyways, get some crap out of the way. It's time for the obligatory end of the month pickup video, even though technically speaking the end of the month would be on a Friday, but I got something else planned for Friday, so that's that. In any event, not a whole lot of pickups, but a couple interesting finds, I would say. So let's get some of that out of the way. First off, a Game Boy game. We have WWF Superstars 2, featuring steel cage and tag team action. Ooh. Ah. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, another one to add to the pile, I guess. This is just to give you a heads up, because I've already played it, obviously. If you're familiar with Steel Cage Challenge for the NES, this is sort of based on that, which of course is based on, sort of based on Super WrestleMania for the 16-bit systems. And, well, someday I'll touch on this on its own video, but in the meantime, we got some other stuff to look at. Like Justice League Task Force for the Super Nintendo. I have the Genesis version laying around somewhere. So now I got both versions. This is more or less the same game, but it has different graphics. I think it's a different developer too, I could be wrong, but this one looks a bit different, but kind of sort of plays the same. Not that great of a game, but again, might be worth visiting in a video, I guess. Also for the Super Nintendo, we have NHL 94. If you recall, I don't know if it was last month or the month before, I had picked up NHL 97. I mentioned I wanted to get another one. This is the one I wanted to get, because it completes my first 5 on the SNES, which is basically Super Mario World, Super Star Wars, SimCity, Wing Commander, Secret Missions, and this. The first 5 games I ever had for the Super Nintendo. So that circle is complete for anyone who cares for that sort of thing. It's actually a nice little piece of trivia, and something that's nice to recall, especially if you've been collecting a bunch of crap. I mean that in a nice way. Or do I? Anyways, a couple of games for the NES. First off, we have a Boy and His Blob, Trouble in Blobolonia. Kind of a cult classic. Never actually got to play this one, so looking forward to giving that a go. And speaking of interesting finds, couple baby blue carts from Color Dreams. First off, we have Metal Fighter. And it's a nice baby blue, as opposed to the thing with these carts is some of them tend to turn like into a puke piss green. These are still very much blue, which I'm happy with. And I've sampled a bit of Metal Fighter. I'm pretty horrible at it, but it's actually not that bad of a game, which is kind of surprising, you know, considering a lot of these unlicensed NES games, a good majority of them are kind of shit. And speaking of shit, we have Raid 2020. Ooh. Ah. And certainly will need Raid to... I can't do it. Like I said, though, this one is a little less blue, but still, you know, I've seen carts like these that are like puke green. Let's try that again. I've seen carts that are puke green. I have a couple that are kind of puke green. Some of them are so bad they went black. And that's... I don't care. Anyways, moving right along, for the PlayStation, we have Hexen. For the PlayStation, I haven't tried this yet, and I'm kind of afraid to because this apparently needs 15 blocks on a memory card. And a typical PlayStation memory card is 15 blocks of memory. So you need one whole memory card for something. I just got this recently, so I'll set that aside here. Finally, 3 games for the Atari 2600, and they're all boxed, which is a nice bonus for me. First off, we got Moonsweeper. Nice foil box there. It's one of those things where you sort of slip on the bottom. I will attempt to do this with one hand. I will flip this over because it's on the wrong side. And it comes with a manual. Multiple pages of instructions. Only a couple pages actually. It's just the same 3 pages translated in different languages, much like a good chunk of manuals today. If you even get that much, which you probably won't. You got a bit of a card with various addresses, mailing addresses, and what we've got for Canada, pack of electronics, and I don't know the relevance, so I'm not going to guess, but yeah, that's the thing. Anyways, so we got the card itself. It looks really nice with the screws exposed, or kind of exposed. So that's kind of cool. Trying to stuff this in all in one hand. I'm going to set this aside, and I'll fix it properly when I don't have a camcorder in my hand. Another game to add to the pile, Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I'm actually curious about, despite that one fellow, I think his name was Nerd Boy. This is one of those games that requires 2 controllers. And is stock. Yeah, the box isn't in the best of conditions, but it does have all the important bits. It has the game, which I will endeavor to remove from the pile, like so. Nice looking artwork. And then we got in here, we got the manual. Nice, chunky, robust manual. Small bit of text, all translated into different things, and that's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, so that's a thing. Again, I will stuff this back in the box when I have a extra hand free. And finally, technically speaking, I already have this game loose, but I needed to get it in a box because I figured why not. 3 different Atari games, 3 different publishers, 3 different kinds of boxes. There we go. Managed to open this one up. This cart might look a little nicer than the one I have. I might have to go and check, or I might not. I don't care. Anyways, you got the instruction manual. Really nice instruction manual. It's something I like about these old Atari games is that they really have nice quality manuals. All the different game variations. Which if you bought an Atari 2600 game loose and you were trying to select the game and you were going through these numbers and you were wondering what the fuck did all these numbers mean, that's where the manuals came into play. They usually helped out in that regard. But I don't know, the things you do to try and pack in as much gameplay as you could in a little game. And this was entertaining for people. And in some ways it's still entertaining because some of these games actually hold up. Actually, this game's pretty, as far as the various Star Wars games on 2600, that's pretty damn one of the best ones, in my opinion at least. So those are my wares for the month of March. Not a whole lot, but again, a couple interesting finds and a couple interesting buys, and yeah, not much else to say there. So yeah, good night.